What if I told you there's a crop that'll pay you back $30 for every single dollar you spend on seeds? While everyone's rushing to plant the same old tomatoes and lettuce, smart gardeners are quietly filling their beds with these 10 money-making powerhouses that most people completely overlook. Stick around, because number 7 is so ridiculously profitable, you'll wonder why you've been wasting space on anything else. Hey there, garden family. Welcome back to Garden Minter, where we help you grow more while spending less. If you're new here, you just stumbled into the friendliest corner of YouTube, where we turn dirt into dollars and backyards into budget savers. And to my returning viewers, thank you for being here. You're the reason this community keeps growing stronger every single week. Before we dig into these 10 incredible crops, do me a quick favor. Smash that subscribe button and tap the bell so you never miss our weekly tips. And here's the deal. If you make it to the end of this video, drop a comment telling me which crop you're most excited to try. I read every single one, and I love hearing from you. All right, let's get growing. Now, I'm not talking about your typical grocery store vegetables here. These 10 crops are strategic choices that'll give you the biggest bang for your buck in 2026. We're looking at flavor, nutrition, savings, and yes, some serious bragging rights at the farmer's market. So grab your notebook, because you're going to want to remember these. Crop number 1, garlic. Let's kick things off with something that sounds boring until you check the price tag at the store. Garlic. But we're not talking about those sad, shriveled bulbs that cost $7 a pound. We're talking about planting your own stash this fall and harvesting next summer. Here's why garlic is pure genius. You plant 1 clove, you get an entire bulb with maybe 8 to 12 cloves. That's an 800 to 1,000% return right there. Plant 20 cloves in October, and by July, you'll have 20 bulbs. That's roughly 200 cloves you can either replant, eat, or sell. And here's the kicker. Garlic basically grows itself. Stick those cloves in the ground before the first frost, cover them with mulch, and forget about them until spring. No watering, no fussing, no drama. Just wait for those green shoots to pop up when the weather warms, and you're golden. Plus, homegrown garlic has this intense, complex flavor that makes store-bought stuff taste like cardboard. Your pasta sauces, stir-fries, and roasted vegetables will never be the same. Trust me on this one. Next up, we've got perpetual spinach, which is actually not spinach at all. It's a type of chard, but here's why it deserves a spot in your beds. This thing grows year-round in most climates and keeps producing leaves no matter how many times you harvest it. Regular spinach? It bolts the second temperatures hit 75 degrees, and then you're replanting all over again. Perpetual spinach laughs at heat. It laughs at cold. It just keeps pumping out tender, mild-tasting greens that work in salads, smoothies, or sautéed as a side dish. Plant it once, and you'll be cutting fresh greens for 18 months straight. No yoke. Just snip the outer leaves, and the plant keeps regenerating from the center. It's like having a salad bar that never closes. And let's talk money for a second. A bag of organic spinach at the store runs about $5 and lasts maybe a week if you're lucky. 1 packet of perpetual spinach seeds costs $3 and feeds your family for over a year. Do the math. That's insane value right there. All right, crop number 3 might surprise you. Shallots. These fancy little onions that restaurants charge extra for? Yeah, those. And they're actually easier to grow than regular onions. Shallots have this sweet, delicate flavor that makes everything from vinaigrettes to roasted chicken taste like you hired a personal chef. They're also ridiculously expensive at the grocery store, sometimes $12 a pound for the good ones. But here's the beautiful part. Plant 1 shallot bulb, and it multiplies into 6 to 8 new bulbs by harvest time. It's like they reproduce while you sleep. You can plant them in fall or early spring, and they need almost zero maintenance. Just keep the soil slightly moist, and they'll do their thing. When you harvest, save a few bulbs to replant for next season. Boom! Free shallots forever. And if you're feeling entrepreneurial, these sell like crazy at farmers markets because most home gardeners don't even know they can grow them. You could easily turn a $10 investment into $100 worth of produce. Number 4 is sugar snap peas, and these deserve way more respect than they get. Everyone plants regular garden peas, but sugar snaps are where the real magic happens. First off, you eat the whole thing, pod and all. No shelling, no waste, just pure crunchy sweetness straight off the vine. Kids go absolutely bonkers for these because they taste like candy. I've seen toddlers who won't touch vegetables demolish an entire bowl of sugar snaps in minutes. They're also one of the earliest crops you can plant. As soon as the soil is workable in spring, these seeds go in the ground. That means you're harvesting fresh vegetables while your neighbors are still planting their gardens. And here's a pro tip that'll change your life. Plant them near a fence or trellis, and they'll climb up on their own using those cute little tendrils. No need to waste precious ground space. You're essentially growing vertically, which means more food in less space. One packet of seeds will give you pounds and pounds of peas throughout spring and early summer. Store-bought sugar snaps cost about $8 a pound for organic ones. Growing your own? About 50 cents a pound. That's a saving you can actually feel in your wallet. Quick pause. If you're enjoying this list and picking up some solid ideas, go ahead and hit that like button. It tells YouTube to share this video with more gardeners who need these tips. And don't forget to drop a comment below telling me which crop has you most excited. I love reading your thoughts, and I respond to as many as I can. All right, back to the list. Crop number 5 is going to blow your mind because 99% of people have never even heard of it. Ground cherries. These little golden fruits grow inside paper husks that look like tiny lanterns, and the flavor is somewhere between pineapple, vanilla, and a hint of tomato. They're part of the same family as tomatoes, but way easier to grow. You don't need to stake them, prune them, or baby them. Just plant them, water occasionally, and watch them sprawl across your garden, producing hundreds of fruits per plant. The best part? They drop to the ground when they're perfectly ripe, so harvesting is literally just bending down and picking them up. No guessing, no squeezing, no checking. The plant tells you exactly when they're ready. You can eat them fresh, make jam, bake them into pies, or toss them in salads. They're also incredibly rare in stores. So if you grow these, you've got something truly special that'll make your friends and family think you're some kind of gardening wizard. One plant produces about a quart of fruit throughout the season. And since they self-seed, you'll likely have volunteer plant popping up next year without lifting a finger. Free food that tastes like tropical vacation? Sign me up. Number 6 is another oddball that most people sleep on. Walking onions. Yes, they're called that because they literally walk across your garden by themselves. Here's how it works. These onions grow clusters of tiny bulbs at the top of their stalks instead of flowers. Those bulbs get heavy, bend the stalk down to the ground, and then root themselves to create new plants a few feet away. Over time, your onion patch migrates across the garden. It's bizarre, it's cool, and it's incredibly useful. You get 2 harvests from one plant. The bulbs underground work just like regular onions for cooking, and the bulbs up top can be pickled, planted, or eaten fresh. The green stalks? Chop them up like chives for salads, soups, or baked potatoes. Plant them once, and they'll keep reproducing forever. You'll never buy onions or scallions again. And because they're perennial, they come back every single year without replanting. It's the ultimate set-it-and-forget-it crop for lazy gardeners who still want amazing results. All right, here's number 7, and this is the one I promised would blow your mind. Saffron crocus. Yeah, that's saffron, the most expensive spice on the planet that costs more per ounce than gold. Now, before you freak out thinking this is complicated, let me stop you right there. Saffron crocuses are easier to grow than tulips. You plant the bulbs in fall, and they bloom in late autumn with gorgeous purple flowers. Inside each flower are 3 tiny red threads. That's your saffron. You harvest those threads, dry them, and boom, you've got the real deal. Just 1 gram of saffron at the store costs $15 to $30. One bulb produces 3 threads, and roughly 50 threads equal a gram. So plant 20 bulbs, and you've just grown yourself $60 worth of saffron from a $12 investment. The bulbs multiply every year, so your patch gets bigger and your harvest gets larger without spending another dime. And if you're not into cooking with saffron, you can absolutely sell it. People go crazy for homegrown saffron because it's fresher and more potent than anything you'd find in stores. This is hands down the highest value crop you can grow in the smallest amount of space. We're talking 30 to 1 return on investment. Absolute game changer. Moving on to number 8, sorrel. This leafy green is tangy, lemony, and completely underrated. It grows like a weed, which means you can basically ignore it and still get massive harvests. Sorrel is a perennial, so you plant it once and it comes back every spring for years. The leaves have this bright, citrusy flavor that wakes up soups, sauces, and salads. French chefs use it constantly, but somehow it never caught on in home gardens. That's our gain. It's also one of the first greens to emerge in spring, which means fresh salads when everything else is still frozen. And in fall, it keeps producing long after your other greens have given up. The plants grow fast and tolerate shade, so if you've got that awkward spot under a tree where nothing else thrives, sorrel will happily take over. Harvest the young leaves for the mildest flavor, or let them mature for a stronger punch. One plant will give you enough leaves for multiple meals every week throughout the growing season. Compare that to spending $6 on a tiny clamshell of mixed greens at the store, and you'll see why sorrel deserves a permanent spot in your garden. Crop number 9 takes us back to peas, but with a twist. Purple pod peas. These aren't just regular peas wearing a costume. They're legitimately easier to harvest because the pods stand out against the green leaves like neon signs. If you've ever spent 20 minutes squinting into a pea plant, try to find the hidden pods, you know the struggle. Purple pods solve that problem instantly. You can spot them from 10 feet away, which makes harvesting faster and way more satisfying. They taste exactly like regular peas, but kids lose their minds over the purple color. It's an easy way to get young ones excited about gardening and eating vegetables. Plus, they're naturally more pest-resistant because the purple pigment confuses some insects. Like sugar snaps, these climb vertically, so you're maximizing space. They also fix nitrogen in the soil, which means they're actually improving your garden while they grow. After you harvest, chop the plants down and leave the roots in the ground. They'll break down and feed your next crop. One packet of seeds will keep your family in fresh peas for weeks, and you can save seeds from the last pods to replant next year. Free food that also makes your soil healthier? That's a win on every level. And finally, crop number 10 brings us home with multiplier onions. These work similarly to shallots, but they're even more productive. You plant one onion in spring, and by fall, you're pulling up a cluster of 5 to 10 brand new onions. They literally multiply underground while you're not looking. It's like finding money in your winter coat, except it's onions and it happens on purpose. These onions store incredibly well. We're talking 6 to 8 months in a cool, dry place. That means you can grow enough in one season to keep your kitchen stocked all year without spending a dime at the grocery store. They're also perfect for beginner gardeners because they're nearly impossible to mess up. Plant them 2 inches deep, keep the soil moderately moist, and let nature do the heavy lifting. No special fertilizers, no complicated schedules, no stress. And here's a bonus. The green tops are edible while the bulbs are growing, so you're getting scallions and storage onions from the same plant. Talk about versatility. Save your biggest, healthiest bulbs at harvest time to replant next season, and you'll never need to buy onion sets again. It's the gift that keeps on giving year after year. So there you have it, 10 crops that'll transform your garden in 2026 without emptying your wallet. We covered garlic for flavor and savings, perpetual spinach for year-round greens, shallots that multiply like magic, sugar snap peas for vertical growing, ground cherries for that exotic touch, walking onions that plant themselves, saffron crocus for serious profit, sorrel for perennial tanginess, purple pod peas for easy harvesting, and multiplier onions for endless kitchen staples. Now I want to hear from you. Which one of these crops are you planting first? Are you going for the saffron gold mine, or keeping it simple with some garlic and peas? Drop your answer in the comments below. I genuinely love seeing what you all choose, and it helps me create better content for you. If this video helped you plan a better garden, smash that like button and share it with a fellow gardener who needs these tips. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? We drop new money-saving garden hacks every single week, and you won't want to miss them. Thanks for hanging out with me today, garden family. Now get out there, get your hands dirty, and let's make 2026 the best growing season yet. I'll see you in the next one. Happy planting!